Hi guys, Shanti here. Today's video is going to be a story time video, and this story is going to be the time that I lived next to a child molester. The story starts out in 2010, and that was like 6 years ago, and I had just moved into my second house, the house before this house, and everything was fun. Like, we were all like fine, and I had met a lot of new friends in the house. Like, back in the day in 2010, kids would like play outside all the time. We would like rarely ever be in our house, mostly because there was a park behind my house. There was like a little lake that we could play around, and then there was like a clubhouse that the complex had built for like adults and children. It had like a pool, it had a game room, a computer room. So yeah, it was like a lot of fun. Like, we would always go outside, and then like we would think nothing of it. And one day this guy moved in. I'm not gonna say his real name, I'm just gonna call him Bob. Bob moved in, and he was in like his early 60s, like late 50s. Like, he was like not old, but he was like not young anymore, like not in his 30s or 40s at all. So he moves in, and we don't really think much of it because the complex is still being built. Like, the roads weren't completely finished around the lake, like houses were still being built, like, so people moving in and out, it's like really like eh, like, we don't really mind. And he had 2 cats, I remember that, because they play a part in the story. Anyway, like, he moves in, nothing really changes. Like, we still play outside, we're still like, and I used to, like, my neighbor's dog, I walked him around the neighborhood, and my best friend would usually walk him with me. So we were walking around, like, the way the lake is set up, it's like the lake, obviously, and then houses behind the lake, and then there's the road so cars can drive, and then more houses across the road. So Bob's house was like one of those that are like next to the lake. So in order to like get to my house when I was walking my neighbor's dog, I would have to pass his house. And like, I wouldn't be scared or anything. Like, I was 10, I didn't think much of anyone like suspicious or anything. So we would like walk around. Like, my best friend and I today were walking the dog, and then all of a sudden, the we see him outside, and he's in a little lounge chair looking at the lake, like, with his 2 cats, like, just like chilling, and we're just like, hey. Like, we go and we're like, hi, and then he's like, hey girls, what's up? And we're just like, no, nothing, we're just walking the dog and like making small talk and whatnot. And then he's like, we're about to leave, and then here's where it gets like weird. He's like, wait. And we're just like, what? So then he's like, wait right there, I will be right back. And he like goes inside his house, and my best friend and I are like, okay, like, we're just gonna wait out here. And then he comes back out, and he has like 2 necklaces, and like, they're like beaded necklaces, but like the cheap ones that you can get at like Chuck E. Cheese, that like you put around your neck, and like, it's like not expensive at all. And like, it was like 2. So then he's like, these are for you, I got you guys gifts. And we're just like, thank you. Like, it was really nice of him. Like, I didn't really think like weird, stranger danger. Like, I just like put it on. I'm like, thanks. And then my best friend was like, thanks. And we just like went home. My mom, once we got home, my mom noticed like the jewelry that we had on, and she was like, oh, where'd you get that? Like, just like nonchalantly. And then I'm like, oh, Bob gave it to us when we were walking the dog. And then she's like, Bob? What? She got mad, and she's like, no, you're not allowed to take things from strangers. Like, you know this. Like, give me the necklaces back. Like, I'm throwing them away. Like, no. Like, that's not happening. Like, she had really bad feeling about him since he moved in. Like, my mom knows. Like, I know by now. Like, if my mom doesn't like someone, then they are like bad news. So, like, we just like we thought it was weird, but we just gave the necklaces to my mom and like she threw them away, and then like we just kept going with like we played upstairs and like that was it. The second story, like the second incident with Bob, happened to one of my really close friends, and I'm not gonna say her real name because I don't know, I haven't talked to her in a while, so like I don't know if it's like okay with her for me to say her real name in this video, so I'm just gonna like make up a name. Um, Hope. Hope is was like 7 at the time, and she had 2 older brothers, and the 3 of us, like the 4 of us, would like play all the time because they lived right in front of my house, so we just play all the time. And one day, like Hope was like outside. I wasn't home. I don't know why. I was probably at like my best friend's house or something. And my mom was like going to run errands. Like she was outside, and then she like she was about to get in the car, and then she sees like Hope playing outside, and then Bob comes out, and he's like, "Hey Hope, what's up?" Because Bob lives next door to them, so he's like right in front of me, and so he's just like, "Hey Hope, what's up?" And then Hope was just like, "Hi," and then like he's like, "Okay, I lost one of my cats inside my house. Do you think you could come help me look for him?" Boy, like, no, that was a red flag right there. And she's 7, so she doesn't really understand. And she's like, "Oh yeah, sure." And she was like heading inside the house, and my mom overheard this, and my mom was like, "Not today." So she is like, "Hope, hey honey, how are you?" And then like Hope like turns around, and then she's like, "Hi," and then like she's like, "I'm good, how are you?" And then my mom's like, "Where's your mommy, honey? Do you want to come and get cookies at my house, like, and then we'll go find your mommy?" And then she's like, "Yeah, okay." And then she's like, "Bye," to like Bob, and my mom and Bob have like a stare down. Like they were just like my mom knew what this man was up to. So like she probably saved her from like having serious damage done to her. Like I'm so thankful that my mom was there and like nothing happened. Like thank God. So they went back inside, and that was the end of the story. And the third thing is that he had like an unofficial fishing class. Like unofficial, like it wouldn't like we don't have to pay for it. Like just sometimes when we were bored and he was fishing, he would like take out like a few extra like rods for like children, and he would just like teach us like how to fish, like how to throw, how to like reel it in, and like I caught a couple fish in my day. I really did. But like not once did he ever lay a hand on any of the children, like try to like teach us how to like hold the fishing rod, like nothing. Like he would just like lead by example, and we would kind of do that. Like he never touched us, so that's why I'm like not like mm-mm. And so then the kids would go, and like the kids would like it'd be a fun thing to do. Like it'd just be like in addition to the pool, the park, the clubhouse, and like the neighborhood, like we'd just like all like bond over like fishing. So like there was always like 5 kids there at a time, and then like that was it. Like you just have a fishing class. Um and that was like the third incident that I found weird, was that he had a fishing class with like only children, and like yeah. Anyway, here's like the big reveal. This man was already arrested for child molestation, like previous to moving into our house. And here's how I found out. There, like one day, I was going outside and to go play with my friends, and I was going to knock on his door, but I see there's a police car out there. It's Hope's brother, like a police car out of their house. And like I was like, that's weird. Like something must be going on with them. So as soon as the car leaves, I go over and I ask them, I'm like, "Hey, is everything okay? Like I saw the police car," and like Hope's older brother was like an older brother to me. Like we're best friends, and like he honestly just wanted to like protect me and like my best friend, and like everything was like we were like a family. So he's just like doesn't want me to worry, so he's like, oh, nothing, don't worry about it, like it's no big deal. And I was just like, okay, like whatever. So I just went back inside, and then when I go back inside, there's like two entrances to my house, like the garage and then the front door. And I went in through the garage, and when I go in, the same policeman is in my house, and I'm like, oh no. So I go upstairs, and like I go inside, and my dad tells me, hey, this is nothing, just go upstairs. So I go upstairs, and then I'm like, something is wrong, like what is going on? And I'm like, so then my dad calls me down, and I go downstairs, and the policeman is like, hey, I just wanted to ask you some questions about Bob. And I'm like, okay. Like I sit down, I'm like a very nice little like 10-year-old, just like, okay, like waiting. And he's like, has he ever done anything to you, like weird or like anything like bad? And I'm like, no, like no, telling the truth, like everything's fine. And she's like, okay, just have a nice day. And like she leaves, and I'm like, I gotta go tell my friend. So I like run over to his house as soon as the policeman leaves, and I'm like, did he ask you about Bob? Like, was that what like the whole thing was about? And then he's like, how did you know? Like, how did you know what he asked me? And I'm like, oh, because the same policeman came into my house and asked me like about Bob, and like if he ever done anything wrong or anything like that. So then my friend tells me, all I know is that he's been arrested for something, and like that's all I knew. And so I was like, arrested? Like, that's like pretty serious. So then I'm like, oh wow, like that's like really weird. And like, I just like, I went back inside, and I'm like, he was arrested? Like, I told my parents, I'm like, he was arrested? And I'm like, why? My parents are like, oh, we'll tell you later. Lo and behold, that this man, like, I still don't know why he got arrested again in the first place. Like, I know the first time was like child molestation, but like I still don't know why he got arrested like the second time. Like the time where they found, like the time when he lived in my neighborhood, I still don't know why they had a warrant to search his house. I still don't know why he got arrested. I still don't know if he's like in jail or out of jail. I'm like, I don't know. So, but what I do know, what my parents told me was that this man had pictures of the neighborhood children, like in his fishing class, playing outside, like just doing their thing. Like he had pictures, like printed out pictures of us scattered everywhere around his house, like scattered, like pictures. And I'm like, what? I was so freaked out. I was like, no way. Like, there's no way. Like this man like lived right in front of us. Like we had conversations like weekly, and like not in-depth conversations, but like we would say hi and bye, and like there's no way. There's just no way. But there is a way, and this man had pictures of all the neighborhood children scattered around his room. I don't know what he was planning on doing with them or what he did with them already, but thankfully there was no pictures of me, my best friend, or my brother. But there were pictures of Hope. There were pictures of like 5 other of my friends. There were pictures of Hope's older brothers. And I was like freaked out. Like that, like this is the end of the story. Like I've never heard from this man again. I've never like seen anything in the news about him or anything like that. So I don't know where this man is, but just like that's my story. Like you never know who you live next to, who you like talk to, like what they can do behind closed doors. So like if you see anything suspicious, like just like either report it to like your neighborhood watch if you have one of those, or just stay away from the person. If you feel like they are a danger, then just stay away, because you never know. Like you just never know. Anyway, this is the end of the story. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. I will be back next Friday. I love you guys and bye!